It is my great pleasure to share in the acknowledgement of the women leaders who are being honored today. I begin my work today, as I do with all of my work, with poetry. I use poetry for a couple of reasons. First of all, it slows us down. Most of us are rushing through our lives, barely breathing. It's called Be Patient. Be patient with all that is in your heart, unresolved. And try to love the questions themselves, like locked rooms and like books written in a very foreign tongue. Do not now seek the answers which can't be given you, because you would not be able to live them. The point is to live everything now. Live the questions now. Perhaps you will then gradually, without noticing it, live along some distant day into the answers. That was written by a 20th century female poet, providing advice to a young aspiring poet about what to do when life is unclear. Women's leadership is unclear. We're perplexed by it. I'm midway through my doctoral studies in leadership, and I focused the last 3 years studying about women leadership. The World Economic Forum in 2006 acknowledged the United States rated 46 globally in women's access to economic equality, and 42nd globally in women's access to health care and well-being. Deborah Rhodes, a scholar that many of you, my guests in this room, are aware of, wrote a book called The Difference That Difference Makes. And she said that it will be approximately 3 centuries before women in America have equal access to corporate leadership at the highest levels, CEO, CFO, COO, and access to equal representation in our Senate. 3 centuries. I'm thinking we don't have that time. We call them the 5 secrets of sovereignty, the choice of leadership. It's the good news, choosing powerfully. The first is to follow your passion. First of all, you'd have to figure out what the heck it is. What do you care about, and how can you impact it? So you want to consider, what is your body and soul telling you? What is your inner wisdom? You want to find what you love, discover your talent. If you don't know your talent, ask people who know you well. They can tell you where your talent lies. The second is to be your own number one priority. We learn early in life that being selfish is not a good thing. Dr. Christine Northrup defines being selfish as just putting yourself back in. So I have a female executive client, very successful woman. She had a baby 15 years ago. She's a teenager, right? In 15 years, what she loves to do is read books. In 15 years, she has not read a single book. She hasn't given herself permission. She's too busy. It took one request from a colleague to say, here's a book, read it this weekend, and she did. Right? You just have to choose it. Don't wait for anybody to give you permission. So how do you do that? Return to your body. Make sure you're breathing. Again, remember the poem I started with. Most of us are barely breathing in life. How are you sleeping? We're seeing younger and younger catastrophic illnesses in our women in particular. Encourage self-sufficiency in others. So for those of you that are raising children or raising others around you who are children, right? Nieces, nephews, neighbors. Let them be self-sufficient. So with my daughter at a very early age, anytime we would travel, I just got out of her way. She hailed the cab, she paid the bills, she worked with the bellhop. I got out of her way. I let her lead. It transformed our relationship. She does not need me at this point. No, she needs the boundaries, right? But I know I'm raising a leader. You want to clarify your priorities. Get clear with yourself. What is your number one priority in your life? Many of us have that backwards. The reason I called it a personal sabbatical was that my priorities were backwards. Once I got clear that my family was my number one priority and I maybe had 2 or 3 years left with a daughter, she's my only, that became my priority. And everyone honors it because I'm fierce about it. The third is to reclaim your power. Many of us drug in through the door this morning, grudges, upset. Somebody said something to you this morning. First of all, look around your life and see who you need to forgive. It seems like an easy thing. 15 years of therapy, you may still not be there, but look who you need to forgive. And get on with it. Please admit your mistakes, particularly as women. We've been trained to not do that. Admit them and move on. Get your voice in the room. Here's what we know. Statistically, we still know that women are the primary caregivers for our youth and our elders. Hey, the men are working hard too. But at times you must get your voice in the room. Our men who are leading are at a loss at how to develop and promote us. I met with a CEO last week. He runs a global organization, 10,000 employees around the world. He said to me, Erin, I have no idea how to promote my women. He's in his mid-60s. He said, in my day, you worked hard, you had talent, and you moved 5 or 6 times. Now, he's not talking about moving from Seattle to LA. He's talking about moving from Seattle to Brussels, and then 5 or 6 more times. For women, that creates a dilemma. I'm not saying it doesn't for men also, but it's challenging. He's coming to me because he has no idea what to do next. The next secret is to create a life of adventure. So watch falling into a rut. Keep your pulse moving. What have you done lately that absolutely took your breath away? Try to create adventure in your life. And the last one is really critical. Keep good company. Who are you surrounding yourselves with? What conversations do you find yourself in? How are they challenging you? Dee Dee Henley and I have done work together for 15 years as colleagues and friends because she will look me in the eye and say things that no other human being will say because she and I are up to big work. Who's challenging you? Who do you have fun with? And those toxic relationships, unless they're family, you know, family's family. Toxic relationships, get rid of them in your life. You don't need them. So I will end with a poem the way that I started. This will be familiar to many of you. Because sometimes when we start to look at our life authentically, we start to feel a lot of guilt. Do not choose that because it will just get in your way. This is called The Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk for 100 miles on your knees through the desert repenting. How many of us have done that? You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about your despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear blue pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the geese high in the clear blue air are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. So women leaders, my encouragement is find your place and ask for the support you need. Thank you.